Howdy do, streamers. Papa Stanham is here with another juicy hot take on the streaming world. Today we're going to talk about the difference between having an audience and trying to cultivate an audience. Before we talk about this subject, I want to talk about today's sponsor. Me! Papa Stanham, I sponsor all these videos, and I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment down below with your thoughts on this matter. I'm actually not asking, I'm telling you. If you don't do that, I'm going to delete your Twitch account 100%. The difference between having an audience and trying to cultivate an audience. That's a really important subject I think a lot of streamers need to understand and go over with themselves. There are certain things, certain behaviors I notice a lot of new streamers fall into when it comes to trying to grow, and that is they look at really big streamers, what those streamers are doing to create content, and they try to emulate that. Like, for example, there's the thing called the Summit 1G effect. I don't know if anybody's heard that said online, but when Summit goes and streams something, there's a lot of streamers that follow and try and replicate what he's doing. He's creating a big thing, right? The problem with that is that Summit 1G has a really big audience, and he could do anything. He could literally like go on Twitter and post a video of him taking a shit and him just talking to his camera, and people will watch it. He has such a big audience. He has all that clout. He already has it. It's there. He could get away with something like that. Something as absurd as that would write articles about it. That's how big of an audience he has, okay? Little old Joe, who doesn't have that big audience, who's trying to replicate that, is going to have a hard time doing it by making the same kind of content Summit 1G is making, or taking the actions that Summit 1G is taking. I hope that I'm making sense. When you're trying to cultivate the audience, you have to do completely different things than what someone who's really big does for their content. They're already there, so they could just sit there and just chatting and just answer questions in the chat, and people will pay them for it. For someone who's trying to grow, you don't have those people. That they don't know who you are yet. You haven't done anything to earn their love and respect and their wonder of what you're doing when they can't watch you live. You haven't earned that from them yet. You have to cultivate. That's the difference between having an audience and trying to cultivate one. A lot of people will look at streamers, big streamers, and say, you know, these guys, all they do is like just game, and they don't really do anything at all. And, you know, like that's what streaming is. That's how you do it. You just got to do that and you become famous and big. No, that's what you do after you become famous and big. You just chill and play some video games and get paid. There's a lot of work that went into building that clout, or that everyone knowing who they are. There's a lot more going into that than people realize. A lot of people don't think about how hard it is to have 1 million plus people know who you are. Like, there's a challenge. Just start with that. These guys are way beyond that, okay? But let's just see, can you get 1 million people to know who you are? That sounds really hard. That sounds like it probably takes a lot of work, and it doesn't just land on your lap. See, you can get 1 million people to know who you are, but they can hate you. Let's say you do something controversial and a big deal gets made about it. Sure, but that doesn't stick. How about getting 1 million people to know who you are and like you? That's hard. That is really, that's the true thing that's happening here. I like saying this. There's a difference between having an audience and cultivating one. Think about that when you're looking at people who are live and you're trying to emulate them. Think about, well, what about all the stuff they had to do before they can just do what they're doing at that moment? What's the difference between when that really big creator was growing years ago? What was the environment when they were at a similar size as you right now compared to right now's time? Let's say someone from 5 years ago and they are growing. What's the environment like 5 years ago with people that have 5 years compared to today? There's a big difference, because I saw that streaming environment back then and compare it to now often. Today, there's all these crazy tools. You can just install a perfectly set up stream, essentially. You know, I mean, there's still things that you have to figure out as a streamer and all this stuff, but everything's kind of done for you. You can have a really good looking, good to go stream right off the bat by just installing some stuff. If you have the equipment and everything, you're good to go. You just go live. So easy, which makes it to where the bar of what's like really cool to look at has been pushed so much further. Nowadays, to try and get to legendary status like someone like Summit 1G starting now, you got to be doing so much more than what he had to do back then. And there's more competition and there's less viewers to go around. It's way harder. There's so much even more work that needs to be done to try and achieve that and emulate that, more than most people can possibly imagine. There's no way that anybody's going to go live and just get lucky every single day and continue to grow and become someone like Summit 1G. There's no way. The only way is through fucking kicking ass. That's the only way. It's the only way. You must go. There is no other answer. It's not easy. It's harder than ever before. That's the reality. This is why I love making these videos. I love being real. All right. I know that we don't have the biggest audience with my Twitch lectures, but for the people that do watch these, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We always keep it real. Always be real with yourself and everyone around you. Good things happen, and you actually have a chance in this realm. I'm probably live on Twitch right now. Check me out, TTV Pop Stanimus. Hit the little Twitch follow button. All right, do it, or I'll delete your Twitch account like I threatened at the beginning of the video. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.